welcome to another episode of Here we are again with another Conlang showcase. This one's kind of special, as in, I came up with this idea about 3 days ago when I was holding Shui's hand, and I thought for a second, what if there was a language that you could communicate entirely just by kind of pulsating your fingers in different patterns and rhythms? If something like this already exists in society, I didn't know, and I also didn't want to find out until after I finished this project, because I didn't want to taint my mind with external ideas, because I could see this actually having practical uses to certain people. So if something like this already exists, oops, but I made this is my system, this is my take on it. You ready for this? Let's do it. I call it the secret handshake. It is a tactile or visual language for gossip and side conversations. So what is the secret handshake that you speak of, me? Well, it is a mini-lang that is communicated using one hand that can be spoken either by looking at a hand on a surface or by feeling said hand somewhere on your body, like your hand. Ooh woo. You can communicate merely by holding your significant other's hand, or something along those lines. It's optimally used for communicating quick and easy messages that you don't want to say out loud. It's better than texting too, because it won't look like you're being rude or awkward in a social situation. It'll just look like you're kind of tapping your fingers. How does the secret handshake work? All you need is at least one hand with 5 fingers and either the ability to see or the ability to feel. Each individual finger makes up a ŋimp, as I call them. They are represented with the numbers 1 through 5 in notation. There are also a few multi-ŋimps, like 1, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5, 4, 3, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5, 4, 3, 2. Simple, right? So, in addition to the ŋimps, there are 4 possible rhythms, right? Quarter note, 2/8 notes, 2 quarter notes, 2/8 notes, and a quarter note, which are represented with quarter notes as a single slash and an 8th note pair with 2 slashes in the notation. The combination of these ŋimps and the rhythms yields a maximum of about 242 possible words, which is why this has to be a mini-lang. A lot of this is going to have to be up to context and making up bigger words along the way. Logically, the pronouns are the simplest words in the secret handshake. You have me on the thumb, you on the pointer finger, any third person singular for animates, humans, on the middle finger, any inanimate singular third person object or creature or whatever goes on the pinky. Us is me and you, 1 and 2. Y'all is 2 and 3, you and he. They, like plural, is 3, 4, and 5. And there are negative versions of each pronoun that are made with reduplication. There's 1, 1, 2 thumb hits for not me, 2 pointer finger hits for not you, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits for not them, and so on. It applies for all of them. This is very important because there's no word for no in this language. A general little pointer, pun intended. The words in Secret Handshake are often, but not always, derived by how close to the human experience the word is. Words about feelings or people or body parts or whatever are more likely to start with 1 or 2, like first person or second person. Words about objects or subjects less about people are more likely to start with 4 or 5. This isn't always the case. Like, I think the word for person starts with a 4 or something like that, so it's not always the thing, but it's a general little piece of advice there. So how does the grammar work? The clauses in the secret handshake are divided up into 3 positions. Position 1 is for the agent, position 2 is for the change, or the action, and position 3 is for the patient. So as you can see, we have the sentence, I love you. I love you, Lapis. Represented with me, or I, in the agent position, love in the action position, and you in the patient position. In this situation, position 2 contains a verb, but that is not always the case. You can also make, there's also a difference between a transitive construction, I love you or me love you. Then there is the passive construction where you just get rid of the position 1 pronoun and suddenly love you means you are loved. It's kind of a bit of like a split ergativity thing going on here if you think about it, but we don't need to go too in depth about that. And then if you get rid of the patient and you just have an agent and an action, it becomes an intransitive statement. So just I'm in love in this situation. An important thing here is that the lack of a verb in the position 2 category and having it replaced with a pronoun has the connotation of giving something, giving or doing something for someone. It turns any pronoun that sits in that second position into either dative or possessive forms, depending on the context. So if you have me, you, love, love is not a verb anymore. Love is a noun now. It's a patient. It's sitting there at the end of the clause. So me, you, love is I give love to you. I give you love. And if you just have 2 pronouns, me, you, it means I'm for you or I'm yours. How romantic. Now, if we want to make things more complicated, the most important word in the entire language is probably the 2, 3, 4, 5 sequence. The most important word in the language. It means that, or so, or what. It means a bunch of things, but overall it's known as the clause splitter because you use it to create sentences that involve multiple levels of subordinate clauses and main clauses, etc. So here's a sentence with 2 clauses where it says, I say that I love you. It has to be split into 2 blocks of the 3 positions. There's me, tell, and then in position 3 you have that, which then leads the next block of 3 positions to be in the next clause but considered within the same sentence. So the me love you that comes after that joins up with the previous clause to become the sentence I say that I love you. Here's another example right here. She sells the thing to you. So you have she, sell, and then again in the 3rd position you have that, and then in the 2nd clause you have you and thing. Expressing desire. You could say a statement with the verb want, which is done with a double 3, 4, 5, right? You could just say me want sell, like I want a sale, if you really wanted to say that. But you could make this sentence that makes a little bit more sense. You get rid of the verb want. You don't need that because 2, 3, 4, 5 can sit there and act with the pronoun that you've used to start the sentence as meaning want in a sense, you know? It basically means I want that you sell it. I that you sell it. The desire, the want, the hypothetical is contained within the that. Negation. Yes, it's time to learn how you use the anti-pronouns. Again, the negative pronouns are just reduplicated versions of the original pronouns. So, not me is just 2 hits of the thumb, right? Me twice becomes not me. So, if you wanted to say not me, see, thing, I don't see anything. That means I don't see the thing, or I don't see anything. I don't see the thing that you wanted me to see, basically. Also, if you negate a pronoun that's in positions 2 or 3, it has the effect of keeping the clause positive, but making any of the objects, whether indirect or direct, into their negative forms. So this sentence, having it and then not you in position 2, means it's not yours. And then I see not it, that means I see, but not the thing that you want me to see. I see other things, I just don't see the thing that you want me to be looking at right now. And then the following example, it's a double negative. Not they, not him, food. That means they don't give food to anyone that's not him, which if you loop that around and make it into a more neat English sentence, it says they only give him food. So yes, even in this simple mini-lang form, there is a future and a past. There's actually two pasts. So for future statements, you have the subject, then the verb go, which is 2 pinky hits, 8th notes, and then that, right? It's a 2-clause sentence. So this sentence here, they will create music, is literally they go that they create music. They will create music. And it's literally that simple. Then past. First we have the past perfective. You could consider it a preterite, you could consider it a perfective, a perfect, but basically it signifies a task or an action is complete. So first we have an intransitive example here. Eat or food in the position in position 1. We have you in position 2, so it's possessive or dative, and then we have the 5432, which signifies done or a complete task, in the position 3. So that basically means that eating is a completed task for you, otherwise known as, in simpler terms, she ate. Then we have a transitive version, so it needs to be split into 2 clauses to be put into the perfective past. So in this situation, we have she. Then in the second position, there is the 5432, do, done, completed task, and then that, of course, 2, 3, 4, 5, she eat it. So she ate it and presumably finished, the action of eating was completed, is essentially literally she did that she ate it. Similarly, like exactly the same system, is the past imperfective statements. So again, we have an intransitive statement, same as before, except the word for an incomplete action, an imperfect action, is the verb to try, something that was attempted but not maybe completed. The intransitive, eating is an incomplete task for you, or she was eating. Then the transitive version, exactly the same, again, except now you have the double 5432 for try. So she tried that she ate it became she was eating it, and probably didn't finish because some kind of event interrupted her. And then we get to a little bit of irrealis. That's right, subjunctives and commands and stuff. All that, irrealis. And a lot of it, again, utilizes 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's a really basic one. That has its own entire row, because if that happens, 2, 3, 4, 5, it automatically ends whatever clause it's taking part in. So even though this whole sentence only has 3 components to it, you have to think of it this way, because that cannot be anywhere but the end of a clause. So in this situation, we have that, and then in the next clause, building, and then feel comfortable. So it all comes together to say, hopefully the building feels comfortable. It's kind of a conditional, like an optative, just anything that's about suspecting for the future or uncertainty or any of that. You just say that and then go on with your sentence. Questions. Questions operate kind of the same way. So again, that has its own clause. In this sentence, we're trying to say, is it true? So you have the verbal form of correct and then it in the patient, meaning truth happens to it. You're basically saying, hopefully it's true, or
Is it true?
Oh yeah, and the most basic question of all, by analogy, if you didn't understand what someone said and you want it repeated, it's just a single word, just 2, 3, 4, 5. What? Then the last big marker word is the one finger that was missing from the pronoun list is for.
The self marker.
For mentioning oneself, making a sentence reflexive, creating a command, any of those things. In positions 1 and 3, it's usually used in constructions that create commands, and in position 2, it is a reflexive marker that allows for both copulas and adjectival constructions. If you wanted to tell somebody to just go, intransitive, not telling them where to go, you're just saying go, then you would say, you go self. Go, be gone. And then a transitive version loses the personhood and it basically just says self go home, which essentially translates to one goes home or one should go home. It's like it sounds nice and fancy to us, but to them it's literally just like one goes home, sir. And then for copulas and adjectival constructions. The first sentence literally will mean he gives himself coolness.
He's cool.
And then similar down below we have
The food is delicious.
the food gives itself deliciousness. While technically adjectives proper don't exist, using the for the self can be used to make a copular clause about the nature of the subject. And just a couple other things before we get to the big finale. With is expressed using a sentence with the verb for, which means to accompany. Next, very important, you have words for this and that. 3451 and 3454, which can supplant the third person singular pronoun 3, allowing for reference to up to 3 separate individuals in your silent conversation. So you could say, this one is boring, this person is boring. But then you can make it even better than that, and you can also silently give names to people by using the verb to in eighth notes, which means be like. And you could basically point out a certain person. You could say, that one is the worst. And then you could use that verb to be like, and suddenly the worst becomes his name in the conversation. That's worst guy. And yeah, there's no plurals. If you need to specify that a noun is plural, then you can begin the discussion with a copula, saying like, they are friends, and go from there. You don't need plurals. Plurals are useless. But what if I wanted to say like an incredibly long, eloquent, long-winded run-on sentence like I do in my other languages? No, don't do that. That's not the point. This language is about having a quick, easy, secret side conversation with someone while you're pretending to be present in a social situation. You're not going to be writing video essays while you're sitting there at a dinner table with people that you don't want to be around. Like you could totally put together any of these 242 words into really big chains of copulas and adjectival forms and all that, and you could probably make really complicated concepts and stuff. Feel free to do that. I'm probably gonna do that myself because I think it'll be funny. But again, you're probably not practically gonna be using phrases that long. You're gonna be sticking with simple things, simple gossip, simple talking points, simple stuff. That being said, our example text here is a conversation that I made up between two people who are sitting in a social situation that they really don't want to be in. Here's the example. Yep, there we go. Riveting, I know. Honestly, this was really fun to make. Like, it was really fun. I wanted to make a language that was, like, so hypothetically simple that even non-conlangers might be interested in at least learning a few basic phrases, you know? Because everyone's in these situations where they really just don't want to talk to people, but they're stuck in a social situation anyway, and, you know, maybe you're pulling out a phone, like, with the Notes app up, and you're just kind of sharing messages with each other, but that looks a little conspicuous. It makes it very obvious that you don't want to be there. So this might be a little way to, you know, just kind of grab onto someone's arm and be a little like, hey, get me out of here, please. Let's do something else, right? It's cool. Could be potentially practical. Again, I don't know if something like this already exists, but I made it anyway because it was fun. That's pretty much it. Again, thank you so much for subscribing, for liking this video, commenting. Comment your favorite potential insults. I'll have the document with the dictionary and all that in the description of this video. I'm working on a lot of stuff right now, so if you happen to be a patron, I very much appreciate you. I appreciate you so much because you help fund keeping the website up, keeping the Minecraft server up. It's all very important to keeping everything running smoothly over here at Agma Schwa Incorporated. So yes, if you enjoy my content and you have, like, I don't know, 1/3 of a Starbucks coffee extra money every month, then consider adding a dollar over to my Patreon, and you'll get all kinds of updates on all the things that are going on. The comic, analytics, updates on my life, just video suggestions I'll take if you've been a patron for a long enough amount of time, like Kakuin's Urha showcase was the first one, etc. So I am very happy with how things are going. I love all of you, and I will see you in the next video. Nga is out.